Check, 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 check. What's up, guys? It's been a long, long weekend. I really didn't trade on Thursday, so I think this is the longest stretch I've gone in maybe 8 or 9 months. I didn't even trade crypto, so let me get situated here. I gotta mark up my charts. So go to the weekly. Weekly, weekly. Got an inside day on Friday and an inside week that have my attention. Let me just get rid of this. What do we got on the 4 hour? Anything? Not really. And I'll mark the hourly here, but no real setups. Alrighty. So yeah, I'm mostly interested in keeping an eye on the inside day, inside week for a break. We'll be on high alert for headline risks. The longer this China tariff thing drags on, there is a chance that there's some positive news that comes out of a deal which would send the market screaming higher. So just gonna be keeping stops tight as always, and hopefully catching a decent trade tonight, this week. Getting another payout would be nice. Gonna keep an eye on looking at oil, some of these some metals, see if anything is interesting here. Let me peek at ES too. Yeah, same thing, inside day, inside week. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens here. According to what I looked at for US Tech, US 100 weekend, it looks like there's really not going to be any kind of gap up or down. It's been basically flat since Thursday close. Last time I looked, it was like 8 points. So just going to be patient, wait for really good setups, and then if they trigger, be a little more aggressive than I have been. So yeah, that's about it. Mostly caught up on some sleep. Excited to, be back in the markets here. Try and make some money. Everybody enjoy their time off, or did you guys go through withdrawals? Let me log into YouTube chat real quick. Uh, let's see. password. Can I check Discord DMs? Oh, can I invite? Yeah, hold up. There you go. Let me get my windows arranged here. Make sure I'm ready for the open. About a minute, 15 seconds till we get the party started. Withdrawals? Yeah. See what we got on the 30. Any zooming in I can do here? Not really. I mean, the 15-minute shooter. We'll have to see how things open first. Just gonna chill. Probably open inside hour, and it's definitely gonna open inside 4 hour. So could be slow start to the week. I really don't know. Just gonna play it by ear. But the things I'm looking for, or that I'm most excited about, are the inside day, inside week setups breaking. Bear if they the week is we closed near the bottom of. So here's the weekly chart. We're gonna open here. So to break this inside bar high, it's gonna take a little work from the bulls, but we'll see. Volatility halt there for a second. Did trigger the day, but instantly bounced back up. See if they close this gap. Tick chart. Make sure my accounts are set up right. All right, I think I'm ready to go here. Let's see what happens. What's that, tie guy? Was that the mini? I don't know what you mean. We'll also be keeping an eye out on this. If this daily candle here stays green, right? We broke this previous low. If this stays green and keeps pushing up, I'll look for outside day. So right now, it's the biggest level I care about is that daily weekly open at 306 and a quarter. So I'm gonna update that on my 18 306 and a quarter. See if we stay above the daily weekly open or if we fall back below and re-trigger the day inside day down. Mini Nasdaq. I mean, was what the mini Nasdaq? I trade MNQ, so micros, but I'll scale into, 10, 12, 15, 18, 20 of them. Just depends, but usually my initial starter is like 1 to 3 micros, and then I just add to winners, sometimes aggressively. Penguin thinks it's a bull trap. We'll find out. Need to get on the 1 minute chart here. Really having to control myself from just jumping into a trade. It's been a couple days. I'm itching to try and make some money here, but gotta remember there's a lot of week left. Wait for, the best setups I can wait for. We'll see if a short here would play out. Kind of interested in shorting under the daily weekly open, but I'm just gonna chill. Not even 5 minutes into the open. FOMOing at the open is a bad idea. I mean, what most people say, yeah. I mean, for us though, we're wild cards, man. I'm not gonna FOMO into the open on a live stream, but maybe if I wasn't streaming, who knows what could happen. That's when Crazy Tom shows up. It's not the best thing to do, Not just like smash buy or sell off the open. I know it worked for you the other day. It can work, Sometimes you get really, if you just bought this bounce up here, you're already up 92 points. Like really wishing I had just shorted the that daily weekly open break, but I'll survive. See if it actually plays out, gets any follow through. Close to re-triggering the day down. So my thought on that was potential early entry to re-trigger the day. Oil is a 3DW. Let's take a look at CL. What's DW? Yeah, options DGen. You can use that as an excuse. I mean, I'm sure you and I have a whole list of them. Justifications for why we do what we do sometimes. Hopped in a trade, accidentally closed my browser, opened it back up, and it rolled back the trade like it never happened. Wild. Did that actually happen, or are you just being silly? Trying to re-trigger the day here. Oh, you're on practice. Okay. Awfully tempting to get into a short here, but I feel like if I was gonna short, I should have done it at the daily weekly open, like I mentioned, because now it's already 50 points. You maybe get a back test of the daily weekly open at VWAP. He lost one combine and got another halfway playing pass or smash. He blew a combine already. It's been 8.5 minutes. I guess pass or smash. You're not lying. I'll do that on combines. I mean, combines are, I definitely don't care about them like I do funded accounts. See, while we're just waiting here, I'm gonna get this blue sky chart kind of set up. All right, 18 through 6 1/4. Yeah. Just jump in this short. Inside five or down. Just do a small little. Just jump in a micro. Dip my toe in the water. Not the best entry. Better entry was this little kind of bounce up here, but stays still in force. So inside our actionable window. Stop me out. Don't do it. Looking like the inside five was going to break to the downside under the daily trigger, but it didn't. Came super close. Stopped out. I'm just gonna wait. That was a little bit of a FOMO trade, not gonna lie. That's why we say anticipation is not actionable. Like the five didn't actually break, but it was the daily was still in force, so it wasn't like a terrible trade, but keeping an eye on the inside five, kind of smack dab in the middle of it. Right here, this what's the low? Low. Missed breaking by a point. I was looking for this five to break, reconfirm the day, get more downside, but market had other plans. Clean up these charts a bit. I would really prefer like a setup on the 60 or the 4 hour to trigger the day, but we just don't really have that. Need to get the special. Oh, I just coin flip trade them. That's one way to do it. You get the special Discord avatar effects. Go to the little Discord shop there. You can be one of the cool kids. I got kind of nervous about that. 41,9,850 on the Mo. What is MO on ES? Monthly open. Did we open all the way down there? I don't really pay attention to ES a whole lot. Can you not hear me? You should be able to hear me. What indicators do I use on TradingView? I have I basically just use this strat indicator thing up here. It shows me time frame continuity, and then a script that marks the opens. You can see here like weekly, daily, hourly, 30, 15. So that also tells me where we get continuity flips. I think it's pinned in funded chat if you want the opens script. The other one you can get is just my custom. I just edited the script, but it's called Strat Assistant FTC 2.0. Pretty much it. Double inside five. See if it breaks to the upside. Little inside hammer. 15-minute flip. 2 minutes into that, and we got an inside bar. I feel like we're gonna do the thing that I mentioned. It seems like often lately, where we end up with an inside 15, and then we get a 30-minute flip. We end up with an inside bar. We're gonna get the hourly flip. There's a lot of time left in the hour, 43 minutes, just under. But we're kind of dancing around right in the middle of that candle. So it might be one of those situations where I've got to wait until like the 8 o'clock Eastern flip. So like an hour 45. We thought we get a flip in 42 minutes, and then if that stays inside bar on the next flip, I would be interested in keeping an eye on where price goes. Volume is on and nothing muted that I can tell. Don't know. Should work. Happy 420 to all who celebrate. Inside 5, breaking bull. Yep, that's today. Smoke it if you got it, or vape it, or eat it. Hate starting out the week red, but 43 bucks is nothing to get upset about. Mostly looking for bearish setups as long as as long as price is under the daily weekly open. I just prefer the downside, but keeping in mind that a tweet or some news about tariffs could push the market in the other direction. Potential 5 minute rev strat down. That would re-trigger the day. But yeah, Elaine, it's kind of I was looking for potential rejection at the daily weekly open, which was also where VWAP was. Hasn't quite gotten back up there yet. Just chopping around sideways with the inside 15, inside 5. Screen is tiny. Which screen? Got a longing for Jesus on. I don't know what that means, tie guy on. That's your uh, talking to somebody else that's not me. All right, Bond, welcome. You did some shenanigans on the input output. Now you can hear my lovely voice. Yeah, good point, Elaine. The non degenerates are, having dinner with their families like normal people. So it could be a little sideways. We got a 30-minute flip, and like I mentioned, we're going to open like 98% sure we're going to open inside 30. And on the hourly flip, if I had to guess, I would say we end up with an inside hour and nothing really happening until like the 8 o'clock flip, possibly. I just had a thought about being, I've seen this like a million times now where we open up, there's a bit of volatility, and then we just kind of, whoops, a really bad drawing. My hand's kind of shaky. We just chop around sideways like this, right? This is not what I refer to as the market on easy mode. Market on easy mode is when it's just moving aggressively in one direction or the other. Like that's when I like to get into setups and add aggressively. Like the other day, I chopped myself up taking horrible trades before uh, Powell spoke. Once he started speaking, the market just sold off aggressively. Like you could pretty much just short and buy back in like 3, 4, 5, 10 minutes and make money. That's what I need to get better at waiting for. Not getting caught up in this, all right, yeah, it's moving, whatever. It's not even moving that much, but, there's a little bit of sideways range, 36 points. I might be like, oh, 36 points is enough to make money, but why not just wait for when it's really easy? Is it bank holiday tomorrow? I know it is in the UK. Deanna mentioned it on Top Step TV. If you take the little line thingy at the bottom, you're basically shorting the bottom of the range. Yeah, it's inside 15, and yeah, I mean, we would want this to break, but there's no. The best setups for me are domino setups where we've got a 60-minute setup, you know, uh, a 60 that triggers a 4 hour that triggers the day, or the 60, a 60 that reconfirms the day, and we just don't have that right now. It's like basically stuck sideways. Range traders probably love this because, yeah, like you pointed out, you know, you could basically, the way it stands now, is buy down here in this area and sell up in here until it stops working, right? Like at some point, this is going to break. Might be right now, so we are pushing up a little bit, but it's one thing I would like to get better at is just trading these ranges. It's just hard as a strat trader because it's not. Those are usually inside bars. But if I can learn to trade in conditions where, there aren't really great strat setups or things aren't moving the way that I like, if there's another way for me to squeeze a few points out, just scalp, 20, 30 points. It's just not my style, but it is something that I want to practice. Right? I want to have a lot of tools in my toolbox to trade regardless of what the market conditions are. What do you got for Gex levels options, DGen? You got them on your chart? If you're still here, let me see if he's here. Nope. I'll tag him. Um, The stream when you called something out, I was confused about the ticker. Okay, every red folder event is that way. Hard mode before, easy mode after with good setups that go with volume. Yeah. Just being patient and waiting for ideal conditions is a game changer if you're trying to be trade successfully and consistently. I just have to drill it into my head that I just have to wait. Like, yes, the day is kind of going in force, whatever. It's right at the entry, but I need I would prefer a setup on like a 30 at the minimum, but really like a 60 or a 4 hour setup that triggers the day. So I just need to wait for it, right? And if it doesn't show up, it doesn't show up. Look for something else. Maybe there's a different setup, a different way to get into the daily. And if not, it's not the end of the world. So I'll miss a trade. It's not like a big deal. Brian, I got chopped on Tuesday trading the inside day like a bum. Yeah, sometimes with futures, sometimes you can get away with trading inside days, but it's been a really tight range. I mean, if we look at the NQ daily, there was an inside day. We got an inside day. There was an inside day the other day. Inside, inside. Been a lot of trading inside. We're stuck inside of this mother bar. So yeah, there's a lot of range there, but no clear direction, right? We're just chopping around sideways. That's why it's important to wait for when the market's actually moving aggressively. I say market on easy mode all the time because that's just what it feels like to me when I'm trading that way. When I could go through and put 1500 in, like 3 4 combines without copy trading, where I just get into a position, hit my profit target, switch to the next account, right? Take another short, boom, make the 1500, switch to another account. Wait for corrective activity, boom, take another short, put 1500 in the account. Like that's when the market is like, I'm like, this is too easy. And that doesn't happen all the time, but it's important to wait for those opportunities more than blowing up or hitting daily loss limit or hitting max loss or whatever under much more difficult conditions. It just doesn't make sense for me to do that to myself. Maybe you guys are masochists and enjoy that. So I don't. I hate it, and it gets me upset and angry. And that's I was close to not being in control the other day, where I got to the point where I didn't even care about the funded accounts, which is insanity. Like most of these accounts, I think I need like another day or two, a good trade or two, and I'll be able to withdraw money. Like, why blow that up just because I'm angry at the fact that the market isn't moving? That's madness. Better to wait for PAL events, FOMC days, CPI, PPI jobs report. Yep. Ty Guy, thank you, says no bank holiday. It's DGen gamma exposure levels. He posted, thank you. Pre-red folder event is a good time to get other stuff on the to-do list. Errands, workout, clean the house. Yes. I need to create one of those lists for myself. I have stuff that I can work on that's, that isn't just sitting here when the market's not moving. Charts on a phone just in case to make sure nothing else happened. Gold was beautiful. Is gold moving? Let me look. GC, it says it's up about 1%. Yeah, it was a nice 12-hour kind of hammer candle here on. Get back to the right. So GC. Not really, not a great, not hammer like, but breaking to the upside and again, just all time highs. I mean, I don't know when gold is gonna chill. It's got no chill lately. It's just grinding all time highs, which can be tricky trading. We don't have anything to look to the left, and you're like, there's nothing there. Yeah, a horrible headspace to be in. People in my life are just like they're like just walk away, get up, and like that's the easy simple solution. But I'm so stubborn, and it's at my own peril, basically. Like I'm choosing to suffer the consequences and to get all angry and irritated and make my life difficult. Telling you, for me, 80% of trading is mental. Like when you first start out, you definitely need a strategy. You got to have some rules, things like that. What happened to Discord here? But once you've got a system and you've been trading it a while and you start to trust it, the rest of it is all a mental game. Being disciplined, following your plan, no matter what the P&L is, consistently taking the same setups every time without question, reasonable risk, not being super greedy. Like having a bad day is I just need to, say like, all right, dude, it's not working today, right? Like go do something else, take the day off. Is it that awful? If things aren't clicking, just walk away. Like hitting daily loss limit is doesn't have to be, for me should be worst case scenario. If I take two trades and maybe I'm down 200, $300 and I'm just not feeling it, like it's fine to walk away there at that point. Just say, all right, take the small loss. It's not working, or take a break, come back later. Penguin likes the pain. Elaine says, when I approach the market, like I don't think I'm taking any trades today. It shifts my mindset to wait for setups that I must take. We know that when we see them. Yeah, that's me saying when the charts are like screaming at me. There's a setup that I just can't resist. That I know if it works, it's going to be a great trade. And if it's not that, then just wait for that. This might be a stupid question, but what is the difference between mini and the future ticker? What's up, Shanthi? How are you? Not sure what you mean. The difference between the mini and the future ticker? There's minis and micros. There's a MNQ and NQ. Micros are 1/10 the size of an NQ. So micros are 1/10 of a mini. So 10 micros, one mini. And if you want to, there's just a every 10 points on a micro is $20. It's 200 on a mini. So you're just trading with much bigger size. Yeah, thanks, Elaine. Yeah, Bond. I mean, if you're just starting out with futures, you should definitely be trading micros. Trade a micro. You can trade more during overnight because it's, we don't have the same volatility. During New York, you want to see how they move, paper trade them. Trade a mini and then trade a micro. So inside 30 is what I was mentioning. There's a range. Anybody who's scalping this range, or like buying down here, selling up here, inside bar, just chop. But if I can't get it out of my head that it's where I buy it, it's gonna break. Like that's when the range is gonna stop working. That's my problem. But I will practice it at some point. Maybe paper trade it or just trade it with small size. ES, I don't know. I don't remember because I don't really trade ES. I think it's $1.50 a tick. Is that right? I don't know. Somebody here knows. I think we have the pricing and all that is pinned in the funded chat channel. It tells you the tick value and point value for all of the futures tickers that you can trade. $5 a point for micros on ES. Thank you. Hit a 60 flip in just over 20 minutes. Definitely looking like it's going to be inside bar. I feel all cracked out for some reason. Probably because I didn't eat and I've been slamming this Red Bull. It's got me like jittery. It's kind of annoying. I am proud of myself for recognizing this, early on that we were going to most likely be inside 30 and then on the flip end up inside 60. That's kind of what's happening here. That's why I haven't been too anxious to jump on any setups. Like I took one shot, was hoping that we just got to, push down. The market just kind of started selling off. Didn't happen. Now we're just stuck sideways, so no reason for me to get involved. Playing, let's see, we get a rev strap 15 up after the 445 flip to domino the 30. Yeah, it would flip daily continuity, daily weekly continuity for 306. I was actually thinking the 15 might go outside bar. It just broke that low, but it looks like it's back to red here. Let's get on the 15-minute. Oops. I can't even type, man. So we just broke this candle low, and this was green, but we get a flip. We could break this high, the rev strat up, and flip the day and week green. That's worth keeping an eye on. Keeping an eye on how price reacts at the daily weekly open. Also something I'm looking at. Hugging Thursday's low. No trading Friday closed for Good Friday. Yeah. Yeah, not a whole lot going on here. Not terribly surprising either. But I'm always willing to sit here for, the first hour, hour and a half, see how things shape up. Sometimes there are great opportunities off the open, sometimes it's just sideways. The only thing I can do is try and recognize what's happening right now and either sit and wait or, plan how the trade's going to play out, where I want to get in. It can be a real struggle to sit here and not want to click buttons or, try and take a trade, try and catch something, whatever, whatever. At least it is for me. Oh, pillow. Yeah. Sorry, I gotta check. I just flip over to YouTube chat. What's up, Nate? How's it going, buddy? Express balance looking good. Yeah, and I've pulled out 6,100 out of those accounts. That's why it would be crazy for me to blow them up. Like these are accounts. I mean, my stats on these are pretty good. Like I took one loss today, but I mean last week it was I just had two red days after a pretty solid green streak. So like, why let one stupid silly day completely wreck this account? It's been mostly just a slow grind up. Like, why throw that away? That's just madness. I would have been so mad at myself. I would have been so pissed off. I would have been in a state of depression over doing that. Like, it just would have killed me for, Thursday, Friday, or, say I did it on Wednesday, with Thursday morning. And then I had a trip. Would have just been in my head the whole, instead of cruising on the side by side, I would have been in my head about what an idiot I was. And now it's just like, okay, new week, new opportunities. We got an inside day, we got an inside week. See if we can get some volatility brewing and take advantage of those opportunities, not, you know, sitting here clicking buttons when I have no business doing that. Who asked me for an invite here? Oh, answer call. We got that resolved. Happening here. A 15-minute flip a minute and a half ago. Opening inside. Inside 5, 15:30. Pretty stuck. Back on gold. Let me see what gold's up to. Oil. Oil selling. 70% short on top step tilt. Let me just refresh to make sure that's up being updated. Average short price 63.22. Those people are getting paid. Oh, what happened? Options DJ, and you do something dumb, or you just feel like you shouldn't have even bothered. Oh, gotcha. Just sitting in drawdown waiting to make $100. Did you grab a couple micros? Or you can't be deep in the red, right? You're just trying to catch 100. Yeah, just shouldn't have bothered. I mean, it did look like it was going to be interesting off the open. There was at least some volatility for a minute, and then we've just been stuck sideways. So, you long or short? Long. Is that an inside on oil? What time frame? Tie guy. Oil is inside week, inside day, inside 12 hour. I like this 4 hour that's failed two up, red two up, reversal back down. Probably going to make a compound outside bar if we can get all the way down here. That was worth keeping an eye on oil. I haven't really traded anything else other than NQ lately. But maybe it wouldn't be bad to go back to keep an eye on oil. And I mean, I'm not a huge fan of gold sometimes. Gold can be weird, super wicky. But I do like trading copper. It's crazy to me to think about how focused I am on a single ticker when 5 years ago when I first started, I felt like I needed to be watching 32 different tickers. And other traders would tell me just focus on, pick one, ticker. If you like volatility, trade Tesla, right? Just focus on Tesla, how Tesla moves, how it reacts at certain price levels, get to know it inside and out. And I feel like that's what I've done and I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm, going to miss something. And now I'm mostly focused on just a single ticker and have found some success. Gotten used to the way that it trades, I've spent a lot of time messing with different position sizing, where I like to add into winners. I mean, it can be a little erratic and crazy, but you just have to, size down. Most of that can be solved by sizing down. Problem with silver though is silver is a huge contract, even with a micro. I tried it the other day. I got smacked for like $200 or $300 before I could even like blink. I was like, "What?" Long, don't ask why. What are my thoughts on 6E spike up on the open? Is that currency future? 6E Euro FX. Inside day, breaking to the upside, inside week. So, uh, it's the monthly, but right here, inside week, breaking to the upside, targeting up here, and inside day triggering with full time frame continuity to the upside. So the year, the quarter, the month, the week, the day, the 60, all green. So that's how I would have tried. Like if this was on my list, I mean this is basically what I was watching for on NQ, just to the downside. Inside day, inside week, domino setup. So you get in on the day to get into this weekly trade and hope that we get, you know, it continues pushing up to the highs. Dan's long term vid over the weekend has you interested in silver when GC tops out. He is good with that that rotation stuff, like tracking the money, like where it's moving in the market. I mean, I know all he's doing is looking at like XLF, XLE, XLV, healthcare to see if money, tech, which is he's probably just looking at QQQ and SPY. But yeah, I respect the way that he kind of goes through this, the sector tickers, and he is a talented guy. Elaine is retiring with $25. Dan from Chart Guys, the Chart Guys. He's got a YouTube. If you go on Chart Guys, he puts out like a 10-minute, market overview video. He's been doing it for like years and years and years. He trades a different, he uses RSI and some other, he has his own kind of strategy to use. But his kind of knowledge about markets and where money is rotating and things like that is really in depth. Picking up correlations, being on top of, like when the quantum stuff was moving, he was all over that. It's nice when you have a big community of people to more eyeballs. But that's where I met Sarah. Yeah, 1226 EMAs, and what he calls most likely scenario, or a lower high or a higher low, depending on what essentially is like a fib retracement level. Yeah, he looks at higher highs and lows and lower highs and lows. Yeah, a lot of good traders in there. I mean, I learned, I was super new to trading, didn't really know what I was doing. Came across Dan's videos, just felt like the guy was genuine, no nonsense, you know, keeps it real. Wasn't flashy with his money. Was, always talking about the process. A lot of trading psychology stuff. But, I didn't, as a new trader, you don't know about things like PAL speaking or FOMC or PPI, CPI, jobs, all that stuff. Basic knowledge about how gappers work and, climax tops. Bond, I live in Florida, but I've been visiting family up in Jersey since November. So I missed the nicest part of the year in Florida. And when I go back, it's going to be 100 degrees. No, it's not usually that hot. It's usually like 85 degrees, and it just depends on where the humidity is at. It's kind of like Groundhog's Day. What's up, Frankie? How are you? This range is still holding up. Anybody who's been buying these lows, been making a few bucks on scalps. OD got his trade. Nice. Yeah, that's where I met Sarah at the last at a chart guys meetup. That was like right when stats started. Here is the flip. So inside 30, inside 60, inside 15. So not surprising at all. It's what I was talking about when I first got on here. That waiting for the 8 o'clock flip, 8 Eastern. So in an hour, if this inside hour stays inside bar, the 30 is just breaking to the upside. But we'll see if it gets going anywhere. Gonna see how it reacts around this daily weekly open price because that'll be a flipping continuity. My God, I'm so jittery. I can't even click on like the stupid menu template things. And do we have to be back to trading after a 4 day layoff? Yeah. I feel like I need to do some jumping jacks or something and like loosen up a little bit. Kind of too tense. I think I just hit the weed vape like one too many times. I may have overdone it. Like with that, and then just slamming the Red Bull on an empty stomach after I just woke up from a nap has my body, thinking like, what in the is going on? I am oinked, straight up oinked, dude. See what they want to do here. Jesus, I was on the wrong charts too. I didn't realize it was on Blue Sky. If this gets going anywhere, but inside 60 for me is just a no-go zone. We are like doji 4 hour. There's almost no body. That's a 4 hour candle. So again, wouldn't be surprising to first thing, open inside 4 hour. Could be very slow and dull unless buyers really get pushing here. So they're making an attempt. Trying to figure out if I can justify like take if there's a position I want to take with the 30 being in force. Inside hours is just I can't negotiate with that because we're not even anywhere near going two up or two down on the 60. That's I don't mind getting into an inside bar that's on its way to not being an inside bar. And sometimes I'm gonna miss these. Like if this 30 ends up being like a really good trade and we make new high a day and keep pushing up, and that was like the spot to get in for longs, then that's just gonna I'm gonna have to live with it. Really have to just practice following that rule, like inside 60, inside 4 hour. Just don't. For the most part, I don't, but I've caught myself like taking this inside 30 up, even though it's an inside 60, and then it doesn't really go anywhere, and I just get frustrated. And I'm always like, God, that's why you have it on your list of rules not to trade it. Like, they're just annoying. Stop market on easy mode. Wait for that. All right, OD, I'll see you're all out. A little more pumpage. What's the difference between boot camp and VIP and any other designation? Boot camp is like a separate kind of course thing that Sarah and Alex do, like a boot camp over. It's been as long as like 3 weeks, a couple times a week for 2 3 hours. I forget what exactly the schedule is, but like it's a pretty intensive. Everything you need to know about the strat, and then there's just premium, which is you get the VIP tag, and that has the Alex and Sarah live streams, Sarah's stratification class, and everything else that's included there. Bull's happy so far. And I do like the potential outside day if buyers stay strong. Really depends, as if we're above the daily weekly open, I like the outside day to the upside. If we are below, I like the inside bar down. Really just need like a little more evidence that this is going to continue one direction more so than the other. Failed two downs on the 4 hour, the 12 hour, and the day. So they're two down directional candles, but green. So this right here on the 4 hour, this is a two down. Technically hit its downside target, which was the daily trigger. 12 hour, same as the 4 hour candle until we get a new flip. There's the daily. Failed two down. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Back down. Yeah, very possible. I mean, depends on how, just going to depend. I really would prefer, but I like playing bearish much more than I like playing bullish. I'm always looking for like a quick 100, 200, 300 point just dump. Q at 618 of Globex. Took a little scalp out already, not trusting inside hour with this fib. Influence of reasons not to keep going, so I took the little scalp and ran. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Little base hit, boom, put a couple bucks in the account, build up a little, give yourself a little cushion. So you've got some drawdown, some wiggle room. I do need to get better at taking those quick little scalpy kind of trades when that's all the market is giving, right? If that's the only opportunity that's there, I can't be, looking for like this 30 minute to hit its target if the market's not really moving a whole lot. Like just take the what was this 70.70 to 60 little points. Well, 60 point push up. I don't know why I said little points. Yeah, 60 points up from the lows. Let's say you got half of that 30 points. That's like a nice. It's a solid win for overnight. Like I've tried to adjust my expectations. Like 20 is decent. 40 is like kind of where I start to really consider taking a good chunk of the position off. It depends on what the setup is and all that, but like I know when it gets to 40 points, 50 points, like that's kind of like 100 points or 200, 150 points during New York. Sometimes I just, well, I hold too long wanting more, 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 and then I stop out break even and I'm like, damn it, just lock in the quick win. It's a confidence builder, gives you some buffer to play with. Got a 15-minute flip in 2 minutes. Just keep an eye on this 30 here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be sidelined until for the next 46 minutes or so until we get the new hourly flip. And even then, we're still in the smack dab in the center of that 4 hour candle. So I have to remember things will set up, right? There will be some really nice opportunities at some point, and I don't want to have to dig myself out of a big red hole because I had ants in my pants. Here's the 15-minute flip. I'm not going to hang out too much longer. I'm going to go get something to eat. Kind of curious to see how the 30 ends up. If it ends up with a shooter, we could get a rev strap back down. Pretty much back to the daily weekly open. I think we're going to hop off, guys. Not a whole lot happening here. I'll maybe set an alert like on the 30 if we end up with a rev strat on the 30 to re-trigger the day. That could pique my interest potentially. But with the inside 60, it's just going to be wait for me. It's like I'm just going to wait until the flip, till we get a new 60 candle. It's probably the best, smartest plan. Nice job, Elaine. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to just sit here and, kind of just click buttons. Gonna Today was kind of a nice day, so I'm gonna go like eat some food, play with the dog for a minute. I can pop back in and like that'll chew up 40 minutes. Check in on the flip, see if there's anything good. Like me sitting here longer doesn't translate to like making more money. That's the truth of it. So I do need to practice, taking breaks, finding other things to do, not just sitting here when nothing's going on. Because again, that's when I get like irritated and angry and cranky, and then I have to teach NQ a lesson, and I get my ass beat. Especially when the solution is like, go do anything else, like literally anything else. Go take a nap, go take a walk, go sit out in the yard, go stare at the sky. Like any other option would be better than just sitting here when the market's not moving and getting pissed off. What time do I like trading London at open? Yeah, I mean, I like London. I like 2 a.m. until 4 a.m. 4:30. But I haven't really been doing that grind lately. Like I'll trade Globex open, 6 p.m. Eastern when futures open. I'll check back at 10 for the new 4 hour candle. Sometimes on the 60. Like I'll be looking at the 60 flip in 40 minutes. and then sometimes I go to bed and I'll set an alarm for like London. I haven't really. I've mostly been getting up like around 6, 7, 8. There's a new 12-hour candle, and then we get New York pre-market, and it's not quite as crazy as New York, but it can really set the tone heading into the open, and I can usually catch some really good moves. There's a decent amount of volatility. It's not completely nutty. So that's really become my favorite time to trade is like really early in the morning. Yeah, 2 a.m. is the Frankfurt Open. Yep. So sometimes there's, you get to get some things moving around a little bit, headed into London. London can be a dud too, just like anything else. I mean, sometimes New York just sucks. You know what I mean? Market opens and doesn't really go anywhere. If I happen to be awake at that hour, I'd definitely sit down in front of the charts at 3 a.m. I'll put it that way. And if nothing happens, nothing happens. 2 weeks ago, there were a few days London was awesome. Yeah, yeah. It's like any other session. It's hit or miss. That's why most of trading for us is waiting. It's not like you sit every time you sit down. There's just an A plus beautiful setup to take. Sometimes you get lucky, and that's kind of how it works out. But most of it is just waiting patiently. Yeah, inside 5, inside 15. 30's not really going anywhere. Inside 60, I'm out of here. Gonna hop off. Good luck if you guys are trading this. I'm going to be a little patient here. Wait for something to set up on a 60 or the 4 hour, and then that's when I will attack. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you all. Catch you later.